Hi everyone and welcome to Inderes TV. Today we're going to talk about Relays with Analyst Petri Gostowski. Hi.
Hi.
So the Q4 figures, they were clearly below our estimates. Could you tell us more about the report and also explain the reasons behind the weak numbers?
Yeah, I used on the report pretty much how I would put it. I think there were a few factors impacting especially the profitability that was below our expectation. One important was obviously the organic growth that was negative, and especially in the repair and maintenance business, where it's very personal intensive and your personal costs don't really change during a quarter depending on how much there is work, but when the top line comes down it really hits your P&L.
Yeah.
So there's one key factor there. And then the company mentioned that they had done some inventory obsolescence bookings, and then there were cost accruals and additional costs from onboarding the new companies that they acquired through M&A. So I think there's pretty many factors impacting the overall cost level, which was above expectations. So all these are basically behind the figures, but nothing major that I would be afraid of or that would scare us.
Yeah, okay. So you don't think that the dip in organic growth is a structural decline, or?
No, I don't see any reasons for that. I believe Relais, the market is solid. It's defensive as it's always been, and I think the weakness in the market is more a factor of the economic situation. When there is sluggishness in the economy, less heavy vehicles are driving around, so there's less need for maintenance and so on. I think it's normal for this market, to fluctuate to some extent, but nothing I would be afraid of.
Okay. There has been a debate among investors regarding Relays capital allocation, especially the combination of taking on a hybrid bond while maintaining relative high dividend. But this one was cut in the latest report. But how do you view the balance sheet health and the ability to take on future acquisitions?
Overall, I would say Relays debt level are on a satisfactory level. So, and I think to be worried about, especially given the defensive nature of the business, which in my view can carry a bit more debt in the long term compared to some other businesses where the business might fluctuate more. That said, after the company acquired multiple companies last year, it's good to take some time to onboard everything and get everyone in line and in shape, and exactly. So there's a lot to do on that side for sure. And the headroom, given their current financing situation and balance sheet, I mean, they can do add-on acquisitions, but they wouldn't have any room for any major M&A plays unless they used equity or some other way or shares to get more headroom. So I'm kind of reading into it that it's a time for catch your breath after many acquisitions and sort your lines. So there's room, but wouldn't expect as fast pace as they had last year in M&A.
How many acquisitions did they do last year?
From top of my head, I think it was 8.
8, that's a lot.
Yeah. There were some falling just before the year and some onto this side. So
somewhat in this scale.
High single-digit figure.
Yeah, okay. So investors again have been discussing and pointed out that the extremely cold weather in early 2026 could boost demand for batteries and repairs. How much of a weather-driven catch-up do you think there will be coming in Q1?
Yeah, I think investors are remembering the exceptional start of the year 2024 when we had a similar winter that we've had now in Finland, and that boosted demand a lot. Definitely, I think this kind of weather situation is good for the company. Like you said, batteries are going to be run wind out, and there's been some news that there's a good amount of demand in the workshops. So definitely, I believe that there will be a boost So we took this into account in our organic growth estimates. Then on the contrary, there's this economic sluggishness what we talked about, which impacted last year. I don't think that has gone away. So there's kind of two drivers, but definitely this kind of circumstances do impact Relais demand. But then, just want to point out it's going to be 1 or 2 quarters, so it's not going to be a sustainable driver. So it's a positive thing, but it won't change the investment case.
Yeah. So the new CEO says he wants to focus on profitability and capital allocation, where he also sees room for improvement. Where do you think that he will start at?
I think he mentioned that there, for example, might be some product categories that where the inventory rotation is not that good. So they have products where demand is not very high, and this kind of brings in inefficiencies. So one thing I would expect him to work is on working capital efficiency. There's clear. It's very value creative if you can pull out more returns on your working capital. So that's something on the operative side. Overall, he mentioned that he believes that they can get more out of the current businesses in terms of profitability.
Yeah.
What that is, it's super hard to
what does that mean?
Yeah, super hard to pinpoint from outside. I think that's I think it's behind is the thinking of that you can always be better, you can be more efficient, you can creep profitability gains from here and there. And one thing is obviously that I'm sure Relais is repair and maintenance business has very big differences in the country level and workshop level profitability. So sharing the best practices and so on should enhance profitability. In some repair and maintenance shops, he especially mentioned the very high profitability of the Raskone business here in Finland. So I kind of like read that into that Raskone is very profitable, and therefore the others should play a catch-up game.
Yeah, I kind of follow that.
Yeah. And then in terms of capital allocations and efficiency on that side, it always comes down to what you pay for the companies you acquire, and then on the contrary, how profitable, how efficient in terms of capital efficiency they are. So that's probably an area where you would always look for buying, businesses that are even better, make your company even more profitable and gain higher returns on capital.
Yeah, so that's a big picture, kind of.
Yeah, it's a big picture. You can always improve, and you should always aim to improve.
Yeah. So what about valuation and recommendation?
Basically, our estimate changes were a bit slightly negative, but the share price came down to the pretty much the same extent. So the valuation picture hasn't really changed. It's rather modest, and then we see it as lucrative. So therefore, we have accumulate recommendation.
Thank you, Petri, for all these comments.
Thank you.
And if you want to know more about Relais, go to inderes.se. And if you have questions to Petri, you can reach him at our forum. Welcome.